Welcome to the UNA Baseball Review. Here are your hosts, Coach Mike Keene and Jeff Hodges.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the UNA Baseball Review. I'm Jeff Hodges alongside UNA head baseball coach Mike Keene. Coach Keene, when we were here last week, the Lions were on an 8-1 run, but went 4-5 this past week. You now stand at 11-9, and it seems to be a little bit of a theme. The games where you manage to get ahead early, you stay ahead and win those games, but when you've gotten behind, you haven't had the ability so far this year to come back.
Yeah, it's been real disappointing. It's kind of been a tale of if we're swinging the bats pretty well, playing well, we're unable to hold leads. Our bullpen was not able to pitch well. Then when we do get good pitching, then it seems like we make mistakes, have errors, or don't swing the bats well. So we hopefully we can start turning that around and getting everybody on the same page at the same time.
The week started with the Big Gulf South Conference Series at Delta State. You ended up losing both games on Saturday. You had a real shot to win Game 2 there, but were able to bounce back on Sunday and get a 3-2 win. Josh Sear, a couple of home runs to help you pull that one out.
Right. It was, coming out of the game, with Chad Bonner on the mound, you felt pretty comfortable. Probably one of his first time I've ever seen him not really get deep into the game. Just didn't really have any location, and which is very unusual for him. So obviously led to for Delta to score a lot of runs. I think the second game was a little disappointing because we were in the game and we had a chance with the bases loaded to get out of the inning, unable to make a play, which led to 3 runs after that, after having a lead, so we go down. But we did bounce back. Cade Medley pitched a tremendous game, didn't walk anybody, and then obviously Josh Sear's offensive day propelled us to the win. But we didn't make any mistakes, pitched well, and had some timely hitting, and that was formed to be a very good Delta State team.
And with the 2 wins of the Maryville series, combined with those 3 Delta games, Josh Sear got Gulf South Conference Player of the Week. He's also National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association South Region Player of the Week. And just to give you a few numbers, he hit .615, scored 6 runs, drove in 5. He had a .750 on base percentage, walking 6 times. So he really provided some offensive sparks last week.
Yeah, it was, and that's something that Josh has obviously been in our program a long time. We know he's very capable of being one of the top hitters in the GSC. Had a great week. I thought he had great approaches. He's really been patient, and when he does, they do have a mistake up in his zone, whether it's a fastball, breaking ball, or whatever it is, he's been able to use the whole field. And if he continues to do that, he's going to be a tough out throughout the rest of the year.
And winning that final game in the Delta State Series, very important. It keeps you 3-3 in the conference. Alabama Huntsville 5-0 right now, but everybody else 4-2, 3-3. So the Lions very much in the middle of the race still.
Yeah, and it's we knew this going into the stretch. These first 3 weekend GSC series are going to be huge because you're playing 3 of this year, 3 of the top teams in the nation. So we got through Delta State, we're able to get a win. Now we got a very challenging weekend with probably one of the best hitting teams in the country, but obviously in the GSC. So that'll be a big challenge for our pitching staff, and then you got to go to one of the best pitching staffs in the country with West Florida. So these next few weekends are really going to be a big challenge for us, and hopefully we can play well on all weekends and see what happens.
And a couple of middle of the week losses. You went down to Auburn Montgomery, lost the game 8-6 there. Again in the game, had a chance, but they weren't able to pull it out. And then played a very good Stillman team at home, lost 3-1. A great pitching performance by their staff and some unbelievable fielding. But again, you were in the game and had a chance in the late innings.
I think the AUM game was, I was really disappointed. We went down to play AUM coming off a big Delta State win. I thought that kind of propelled us. We played very non-emotional, didn't have everybody on the same page, really sluggish and able to let them get a lead, and we couldn't hold it, and then we were unable to come back. And then Stillman, you got to give them credit. They threw their whole staff, but they made, every time we had a run, they come up with a great play. They made 3 or 4 great plays, which is really the difference in the ball game. And we had, Riley Sanderson pitched really well, and we brought Eric Wilson in relief, pitched tremendous, and Jacob Wester threw well at AUM and again the next day. So we had what we wanted pitching-wise. We're just unable to score enough runs.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have some Lion baseball highlights for you when we come back.
TVA Credit Union was established by the Farm Credit Administration on June 24, 1936, with 7 branches full of financial experts offering personal advice. TVA Credit Union offers low rates for mortgages, auto and personal loans, as well as higher rates on savings and CDs. TVA Credit Union is member-owned and operated, and now open to the community. TVA Credit Union is everybody's credit union. Give TVA Credit Union a call today, 256-386-3000, or stop by any branch.
Daddy, can I get a puppy, please?
Okay, Sammy. It's bedtime.
Oh, 10 more minutes, please.
10 more.
Yes.
Please? Hey, Daddy, will you buy us some alcohol for my party tonight? We'll be right here at the house. You can even take the keys. Please?
Absolutely not.
Never let me have anything.
Don't be a pushover.
I hate you.
Be a parent. Prevent. Don't provide alcohol to minors.
Welcome back to the UNA Baseball Review. It's time for our highlight segment. And Coach Keene, today we're going to look at a game the UNA Lions won 10-8 over Trevecca out at Mike Lane Field. And it was a game, early innings, we got a lot of runs. It looked like we had it on ice, but Trevecca kept battling back.
Yeah, it's Trevecca is, you know, they were an NAI team, very good program for years. They're now Division II, so being in the proximity and close we get them is nice to get them at our ballpark and gives us another Division II game. So, and they're going to come out. They were struggling a little bit coming in, but obviously when they came out, they were swinging the bats well, and they jumped on the board early right away, and again, plugging away, and we're getting behind, which has been kind of a theme in this series, this season. And then one of the things that happened, it was wet conditions, a little bit sloppy in that ball played, and then one thing that helped, our defense picked it up, and we were able to throw them out and try and advance. So now it's a chance to see if we can come back.
And this is what you like to see, an immediate response to their run, and the Lions going to put one. Score one here in the bottom of the first to make it 2-1.
And here it is. We get first two guys get out. Josh draws a walk and brings up Dylan Boston. He's done this a lot. He gets a pitch here. You see a really good job. That pitch is up out over the plate. Instead of trying to pull it, he goes with the pitch, hits it in the gap. And again, the conditions were a little sloppy, and Josh was able to score all the way from first base. And it was huge to get when you get down 2-0. You bounce right back 2-1. And then but it gives us a chance to be right in the game. So, and I think that's, again, you see where that he didn't try to do too much with that breaking ball, and it does a really good job of taking it the other way.
And the Lions going to add two more here in the bottom of the second to take the lead for the first time in this game. And again, up and down the lineup in this game, you had some success getting on base, whether it was hits or walks or hit batters.
And I think for most part this year, I think our offensive approach is they've done a very good job. Here we get Taylor Bonifacio gets the plate and gets a walk. Thomas Lundborg, who has been getting on base by any means. He's walked one there, got a good eye, patient. Against Delta, he had a really good offensive day. You see him get hit by the pitch. So finding ways to get on game, and that's what we need to do. So now we got some things happening, and then you get Jake Ward here, who gets in there, kind of hits a ball, catches there, gets short fly ball. We're able to get in and get the run in and tag him, and that's in that situation. That's what you want to be able to do some way to get that run in, and he was able to get it. And that's something we got to continue to do. We got to be able to manufacture runs. So there's Jake right there. I'm sure I missed one. It's probably Eric Wilson got the first one, but then Jake comes up, has been real hot, and then he hits a ball hard the other way and that was when he was really getting the game and was hitting very well for us. And we got to get everybody back on track and be able to hit that way. You see him stay inside the ball and drive it the other way and push and then now we take the lead, and it was nice to come back.
And Trevecca going to tie the game here in the third inning. Eric Wilson on the mound for you, a new pitcher this year, a lefty, and he's had a couple of good outings for you.
Yeah, he's he's really been doing well. And sometimes he gets a little bit early on. He kind of settles in. He gets better as the game goes. He's just trying again. The thing about what we're trying to do is we're not going to walk guys, and he's challenging the guy and went at him, and he just happened to get a guy that guessed right, got a pitch over the plate, and all these teams, they got some guys that can drive the ball, and he hits a home run, and it's back to 3-3. And then you'll see that he does settle in from this point on.
And Eric, a versatile player, he starts for you in the outfield and hits a leadoff spot when he's not pitching.
And Eric, again, you'll see a little bit different here. Now we get back in there and got to get back in the game and get a fly ball deep there and trying to get out of the inning. And that's what like I said, Eric, that's usually what he does. Once he settles in, he gets comfortable, then he starts getting on a roll. It's usually those first innings. So, but again, you'll see Trevecca there. Nice play by Josh Carpenter and a pick by Josh. So that's one of the advantages of having Josh Carpenter at second base, because he has a shortstop's arm, and you can see where he's been able to make a play. And I really think that transition to second base has really made our team better defensively, and he's done a good job there at second base. And again, here we come out, make some defensive plays, get the ground ball. Now we're back out of the inning, got a chance to try to take the lead.
And the bottom of the fourth is going to be a big inning for the Lions. You're going to play 6 runs here and seemed comfortable at the time, 9-3 lead.
Right, and then here's a pitch on Josh in the hands, and I think that's what he's doing so much better this year. He's able to keep his hands inside instead of that ball getting jammed. He's able to get there, get the barrel on the ball, and get a hit. And again, get some things happening. Now you get both him and Boston up here, and then Dylan gets a breaking ball this time that he pulls and just hits it right off the wall. And you show his strength that he has in getting down. So that we got second and third, got some things happening. Those two guys have been obviously leading us in RBIs, and the key to them is we got to get guys on in front of them, and that's one of the things we got to continue to do. Now Andrew Allman, who again, another guy that's been productive in our program, comes up and gets a hit, and now we take the lead. Go ahead and try to score because it is sloppy out there, and it's hard to get that ball because it's wet. We're able to get there, and then Andrew does a good job of reading the baseball and ends up on second base. So there, some really good at bats going on. Now we get a little chopper here, get a little break on that play, kind of chops, get by him. And not that we've had a lot of them, but you like them when you have that. We didn't hit it real hard, but it ended up being a good location. We hustle and get to second base.
Well, I was going to say, you've had a lot of opportunities. Boston hitting 429 and Sear 400, so they've been on a lot, and it's given a lot of opportunities for Allman, Nolan, and those guys to drive in some runs.
Right.
And they both did it there.
Right, and then, those guys have been, that's what we got to do. And, I think that's one of the things, like what Taylor Bonifacio, I know he's been kind of getting limited playing time, but, I know when he plays, I know what we're going to get out of him. He tries to do the little things, get hit by the pitch, good defensive player. And it's one of those things where he when he gets in the game, he's able to contribute and help us out. And here we get a single left. You see that the guy wasn't that deep, but he didn't throw the ball because of the grip, and we're able to score another run. And it wasn't hit hard, but we had a good location on that. You'll see Ward kind of chops, and again, the guy doesn't play well. Now we get a mistake on the defensively. Instead of coming to get that ball, he lets it play. Takes that second hop, kicks by him, and now we're able to score some runs. And like you said, it looks like it's at this point it's going to be a pretty comfortable game at 9-3. But in baseball, it's you still got to throw that pitch, still got to play the game. Yeah,
a little Matador play there first, a little ole as the ball went by. But Ward having a great season for you. He's moved in the starting lineup, now hitting 393 for you. So he's been a pleasant surprise, or maybe you knew capable of that, but he's doing very well.
I think it's it's one of those where we didn't know which guy was going to really step up, and he's able to do that. So again, here we come out, get the ground ball, and have a chance to turn the double play. And I think that's one of the things in the transition with moving to the position. Josh is probably one of the areas that he needs to keep improving on is the pivot. It's a little different throwing. You're not coming across a base, but and I think this is something that we haven't been able to do when we don't make a play. The thing we end up having is we end up giving runs after it, and this is a time we're able to pitch out of a mistake. And that's kind of we talk to our position players and our pitchers. If a pitcher walks somebody, it's the responsibility of the position player to come up with a great play. If we have an error, it's the responsibility of the pitcher to pitch out of it.
The Lions going to get another run here in the bottom of the sixth and extend the lead to 10-3.
Never get a pitch right over the middle of the plate, and take it right up the middle. Didn't try to pull it and pull off of it, and that's something that Josh has got to keep doing. Is when he stays through the ball and doesn't pull off, he does a pretty good job. He just has a tendency to pull off once in a while, and we're going to try to make some things happen and steal bases, which we really haven't had a lot to do. It really hasn't got into our style. I think with Doyle not being in the lineup is obviously one of our best base stealers. We haven't been. The other guys are got some speed, but we don't have really guys that are the base stealers that I need them to be. But again, you'll see Jake gets a breaking ball, lets the ball travel, come to him, and then he hits it the other way. Was able to get another double, and then we push that lead to 10-3. And like I said, you think at this time should be very comfortable, but ends up not being.
Yeah, Trevecca going to come back here, get 5 runs here over the last 2 innings, and have some runs on, get 3 more runs and make it a tight game.
Now we bring Jacob in, and he's pitching here, and trying to throw strikes and trying to make some things happen. Here we go, get the ground ball, get the double play, we get out of the inning, and that's what we bring Jacob to what we're trying to do.
Of course, the Lions 12 hits in this ball game, but out-hit Trevecca with 14. And again, they did a good job of kind of pounding on the UNA relief pitchers just a little bit, but UNA going to be able to hold on here.
Well, we actually had brought in McCarley, and then brought Erickson in late when it was tied. Excuse me, was able to get the pitch and get out of it, and then does a good job coming in throwing strikes. We get the ground ball, which ends up scoring a run. We get a pop-up, good communication, and then is able to finish out the game here. He throws a good slider, as you see coming up, and the guy chases it and gets ahead and throws a slider, and we're able to get the strikeout for the win. And one of the tough things to get that throw down to first base. So, good job of holding on to the lead. Never comfortable, but it was a lot closer than what we thought it was going to be.
And again, a little consistency issue. You brought in McCarley, who'd been very effective earlier in the year, and he gives up 3 runs. Doesn't even able to record an out in that one, but then Erickson comes in and was able to shut the door. But it's been kind of that. Don't really know what to expect from your bullpen right now.
And it's unusual because we weren't expecting that. And it's been like, you're kind of most of that way he does well, so you think he does again than another guy. So we just got to be able to find the right guy at the right time and try to and get a little more consistency with it.
We'll take another quick break and have more Lion baseball for you after this.
TNT Fireworks is proud to support the University of North Alabama and the Lion baseball team. Like the UNA baseball program, TNT Fireworks is committed to excellence. Our product, service, and teamwork are the reasons we are America's #1 selling fireworks brand. Check us out at TNTfireworks.com. And remember, if it's not TNT, it's not fireworks. TNT Fireworks encourages the entire Shoals area to support head coach Mike Keene and his UNA Lions by attending a game at Mike D. Lane Field. Roar Lions!
He is the most interesting man in the Shoals. He is an artist, a writer, a philosopher, a historian, musician, astronomer, wine connoisseur, environmentalist, Peace Prize recipient. When he speaks, people hang on each and every word, especially the verbs. His personality is so magnetic that he cannot carry credit cards. It is said that once he taught a German shepherd how to bark in Spanish and taught a horse to read his email. Someone recently asked him what he did for fun, and here is what he said.
I don't eat out every day, but when I do, I eat at City Hardware because to me, it's the most interesting restaurant in the Shoals.
Welcome back to the UNA Baseball Review. It's time for our player profile segment, and Coach King, we're going to look at some other seniors today, starting out with pitcher Michael Watkins. And Michael was a conference starter for you last year and did a tremendous job. Off to a 1-3 start, but his ERA not that bad this year, but he's had to face some of the tougher opponents already.
Yeah, and I think he's getting kind of a hard luck pitcher. I think he's kept us in the game, pitched well, and it's just one of those games where we just haven't been able to come back or score any runs when he's been pitching. I thought he's had a lot of life on his fastball his last couple outings and pitched well enough against Delta State to get the win. But when you're in that weekend pitching rotation, there's not a lot of room for error in our conference, and when you're playing some of the better teams, we got to play well, and he's keeping us in the game. And I think the one thing that brings Michael, he's obviously was a shortstop in junior college, very athletic, can really get off the mound, and that really helps. So it's hard to bunt on him, and when you do hit a ball, he can really bounce and get up there, and very athletic.
And he was somebody that really got better for you as the season went along last year, and hopefully see those same kind of signs as we progress through the remainder of this season.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have to, continue to keep his location on his fastball. When he's locating his fastball, once in a while what he does, he'll miss with his breaking ball, and when he can get on top and really pull up his three pitches, when all three pitches are working, like all pitchers, all three pitches are working, he's going to be pretty tough.
And Josh Doyle, a senior for you, led the nation in sacrifice bunts last year, batting behind Michael Schmidt, but a guy that can also get on base, produce a lot of offense for you with his speed, but you missed him out of the lineup with an injury. Yeah,
it was, Josh started off, we were going to put him in the leadoff role. Obviously, if you look at our stolen bases, he's still leading us in stolen bases, hadn't played in quite a while. Stole a ton of bases for us last year. Finally got back in the lineup. I know he's a little rusty, hadn't seen live pitching for quite a while, but Josh has good speed, very good arm. Brings a lot to the game. We just got to start getting him back so he can get on base, and we get him kind of back in the two-hole, trying to figure our lineup. So like I said, we just need him to get on base. It helps our offense get clicking, and then get those guys in front of him, and that way Sear and Boston have more opportunities to get RBIs.
And with Ward and Bonifazio and Nolan, some of the new guys this year, you have some decent depth in the outfield and able to fill that role while he was gone, but it's nice to have him back.
Right, and I think with having Eric Wilson was obviously leading off early in the year, and I think that's one of those things. He just started really struggling offensively, but he does help us both on the mound, and we know Eric can really play defense.
And junior Josh Carpenter, he's a two-time All-Gulf South Conference shortstop. He moved him to second base this year with Matthew Tittle coming in at short, and I think that's really helped your defense, but also he's been able to hit the ball decent this season as well.
Yeah, I think Josh is with making the transition, moving over to second base. Trying to, one of the things we did, we want to be be a little more consistent defensively this year, and either which we didn't know for going into the season what direction we were going to go with, because you had Bradley Nolan also playing second. We didn't know if Matthew could play second, which way we're going to go with it. We just felt this was going to be the best opportunity for us to try to get their best defensive team out there. And Josh is a guy that when he stays within and tries to hit line drives, he's a guy like that, hit and run guy, move runners over, and just do the little things. And when he does the little things, he can help us.
And it was kind of surprising his freshman season, his offensive output. He had a tremendous year at the plate this season, batting .313, so doing well again. Will Dennis, one of your catchers here, a junior out of Decatur, and in the game against Stillman, he threw out 3 base runners, which is something nice to see, but he's also a good bat for you.
Yeah, I think Will's made a lot of progress since he came into our program, especially offensively. He's got a lot of strength, a lot of size, and offensively, I know he's going to be. He helps us out offensively. it was nice of Stillman because we've been having a lot of problem getting guys to second base and thrown out. Will's biggest adjustment he has to continue working on is his framing, and that's something he has to continue to work on and continue to get better. But I thought he had a nice game against Stillman, got a chance to get in there and really shut down. That reason that game ended up being 3-1 is because Will threw out all the runners. Every time they tried to steal, he threw them out, so they took him out of scoring position, which we haven't done a lot of. If they get on first base, they end up on second base. So that did help us keep the game. Plus, he had a big hit late in the game also, and so I know Will's trying to get in there, and obviously you just got to keep going with that and working hard, which we know he will.
And with Thomas Lundborg, you have two solid catchers, and with all the doubleheaders that you play, it's nice to have that where one guy doesn't have to go the entire way.
Right, and it's one of those things. We've been catching Thomas a little bit more, and that's primarily because of the defensive aspect of it. But I think that was nice to see Will get his opportunity again and catch well for us.
We'll have another quick break and bring back more Lion baseball for you when we come back.
Morgan Stanley is proud to sponsor the University of North Alabama Lions. Please see one of our financial advisors, Chris Smith, Bill Jeffrey, Joe Curtis, John Jeffrey, or David Jeffrey, to assist you with your financial needs.
Hi, I'm Mike Keene, head baseball coach at the University of North Alabama. Have you ever heard the saying, great baseball players are made in the off-season? As a college baseball coach, I can tell which high school recruits are on a weight program and which ones are not. Help your young athlete reach the top of the sport by training with the personal trainers at the Courthouse Racket Club. Our 5 trainers are ready to work at your athlete's pace and your schedule. Try our 3andMe training program designed for 3 athletes to work with a trainer and lower the cost to fit any budget. Call Ken Irby at 764-0034 to set up a program designed especially for your young athlete. The Courthouse Racket Club, proudly serving the Shoals for 30 years.
Daddy, can I get a puppy, please?
Okay, Sammy. It's bedtime.
Oh, 10 more minutes, please.
10 more.
Yes.
Please? Hey, Daddy. Will you buy some alcohol for my party tonight? We'll be right here at the house. You can even take the keys. Please?
Absolutely not.
Each time I turn around.
Never let me have anything.
Don't be a pushover.
I hate you.
Be a parent. Prevent. Don't provide alcohol to minors.
Morgan Stanley is proud to sponsor the University of North Alabama Lions. Please see one of our financial advisors, Chris Smith, Bill Jeffrey, Joe Curtis, John Jeffrey, or David Jeffrey, to assist you with your financial needs.
Welcome back to the UNA Baseball Review. Coach Keene, several newcomers have really contributed for the Lions so far this season, even though we're still in the early stages. But Dylan Boston has to jump out right at the start, batting .429 for you for the season. He had a 17-game hitting streak to start the season. Didn't get a hit one game, but has hit another 2. So he's hit 19 of our 20 games overall, and he's really been an offensive force for you.
Yeah, it was, we knew he had, like I said, the potential to be a good hitter for us, and obviously we needed him to be productive, and he has. And I think the one thing about Dylan is he does have expectations, and he's a guy that really tries to make adjustments and wants to do well. And as you saw in this game, he has the capabilities of hitting the ball all over the ballpark. He's going to continue to improve. It's going to get tighter. They're going to pitch him more, especially with how much success he has. But I think with having him, it's basically you got Sear, Boston, Allman. Those 3 back-to-back are really pretty good hitters. And we, like I said, we just got to get guys in base in front of them.
And a local guy from Sheffield, another one, Jake Ward from Russellville. Jake batting .393. As we mentioned earlier, he's moved into the starting lineup, but he also gives you some speed, and he can do a lot of things with the bat.
Yeah, that Jake, we got to continue to make sure that he moves the baseball, keeps it in play, puts pressure on the defense because he is pretty quick down the line, gets out of the box pretty good. One thing that Jake's done is he's played a solid center field. He's actually better in center field than in the corner, and that's kind of why we moved the outfielders, especially with Wilson going to right field and then Josh Doyle. Those 2 were in right field because Jake is a little bit better in center field. But yeah, he's been once he got his opportunity, he's really helped us.
Matthew Tittle starting at shortstop. He's batting .333, and of course he's done a great job defensively for you. But he's also been a force in the lineup.
That's Matthew's got some kind of hidden pop in his bat, and I think the thing that what Matthew does when he uses the whole field. I thought last night when he got late, got that hit, he got behind, but then took a pitch out over the plate and drove it to right field. And we know that he's got a chance to get some pop. He has had that 1 home run. Or hit it earlier. I know he's got some pop in his bat, but he's done a good job. And we just got to continue to be able to make plays, late in the game, and trust that we have the capabilities of doing it.
And you thought pitching would be a strong suit for the Lions this season. 9 pitchers coming back. Riley Sanderson, the guy that pitched just a little bit last year, was injured, but he's really come back strong this season. Right now 1-1 with a 1.59 ERA, and he not giving up a run until the Stillman game, so he's gone 11 innings without allowing a run to open the season.
And he's probably the biggest surprise because he had surgery, what he did hurt his arm last year, had surgery in the offseason, rehabbed it. A lot of times coming back you don't know what they're going to do, but he's been, I think what he did against when we played Maryville is when they got a few guys on, he continued to pitch, and even yesterday I thought he pitched really well. He obviously gave us every chance and every opportunity to win that game, and so he's been kind of a nice surprise, and that gives us a quality arm midweek.
And another guy that's really stepped up for you on the mound, Cade Medley, had a little rough start in his first appearance of the season down at Florida Southern, but since then he's been lights out, 3-1 for you, and pitched a great game over at Delta State.
Yeah, and I think that's coming from, Cade was from Wallace State in Hanceville, who obviously has a very good reputation. I thought he competed really well, and that's one of the reasons we had him in that Sunday role. We felt that would give us a good chance, in that game, because a lot of times you're hoping to be, you like to be 2-0, but if you're 1-1, you like to have Cade for that game 3. It feels it gives us a good chance and a good opportunity that he'll keep us in the game. And again, Delta State can't say enough about the way he pitched, because he pitched out of a lot of jams, didn't walk anybody, and we just did a great job.
And all games on your schedule are important, but particularly the Gulf South Conference games, and 9 GSC series this season, 2 behind us, 7 to go. What do you and Coach Hancock do to try to keep you guys maybe from getting a little discouraged at this point and realize how important each game is and go out and be ready each time?
The only thing we'll talk a little bit about today, we've kind of said about everything you could be said, and it's one of those things that's frustrating for us as a coaching staff. It's frustrating as the players because you obviously had real high expectations going into this season. It just hasn't worked out quite the way we were planning on. So we'll just have to continue to work hard, get our guys in there, and hopefully the production will get up and we'll get some breaks. And I think it's a matter of if we get a few breaks and get on a roll, I think we can get there. You just never know if that's going to happen, but we'll continue to work hard.
And I think this has been typical for most seasons that we've seen in the GSC standings. Alabama Huntsville's jumped out a little bit. They're 5-0, but pretty much everybody stays in a pack, and each weekend there can be a lot of changes depending on who you're playing. Some series obviously easier than others, but Alabama Huntsville 5-0, and then behind them there are 5 teams that are 4-2, UNA 3-3, and then the bottom 3 that haven't won a game. But so UNA definitely in the middle of the Gulf South Conference race.
Right, and then, like I said, it's going to be really challenging, playing a very talented Alabama Huntsville team. And then we got West Florida, but there's a lot of GSC left, and each weekend as you go into those 3-game series, it's amazing what can happen from weekend to weekend. One team looks like they're out of it, the next day, they're right back in the middle. So, we just got to try to stay consistent, try to figure out all the little things that we need to do, get the right guys at the right place, the right pitching, and get the right lineup. And it seems like you should have it by now, but unfortunately we have not.
Well, and the good thing for you is you have a lot of veteran guys who've been in the lineup, Carpenter, Sear, those guys who've been through it 2 or 3 years already, and you've been able to pull it on at the end of the season, make the NCAA tournament, and maybe those guys can help drive the train from here on.
Yeah, I thought the AUN game was where we were a little flat. I thought Andrew Allman really stepped up and was really trying to provide some leadership, showed some energy, and really tried to create some things happen. And really, he was really one of the forces to get us back into that game. And that's what we're going to need right now from this point on, some good senior leadership.
The Lions going to have a big series home with Union before Easter weekend on March 29th and 30th. That'll be a key for you and an opportunity maybe to, like I said, take a step forward.
Right, and like I said, you never know what these teams go. A lot of times teams, you look where they're at and they're not playing well, and look what happened with West Alabama. They were not playing early in the season. They get in the conference season, haven't been beat, so you never know what's going to happen.
The UNA Lions 11-9, a big series with Alabama Huntsville, and then several games before a home series with Union. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you again here next week.
Thank you for watching the UNA Baseball Review. Please join us again next Sunday at 11:30.